Hello viewer, thank you so much for tuning in to Elimu TV where you continue to watch and learn. Today we are going to look at mathematics Form 2, but we are going to start with the assignment that I left you to tackle during our last lesson. We are still on cube roots, and I told you that we have two methods that we use to find the cube root of numbers. One, use what we call the factor method, and two, we use what we call the mathematical table, the maths table. So we already tackled that, and I left you with some assignment that you are supposed to tackle. So I want us to first go through those questions. So the first question, you are supposed to use factor method to find the cube root of 1. So factor method to find the cube root of 0.08, 0.008. Now, how are you supposed to go about this? Not forgetting that I told you that the square root of a number, any number, the cube root of any number means that number to power that, like that. Now, to make our work easier using the factor method, we can first start by rewriting this number as a fraction. Or, first of all, we write it like 0.008 to power that. It does not lose its meaning, only that we are writing it in a different way. Then after that, we write this one is 8 over 123 over 1000. And remember, we want the cube root of that. Then we rewrite 8 as a product of its factors. And I told you that we can use the factor tree method to get the factor of any number. So if we talk of 8, it is divisible by 2 to get 4. Then divisible by 2 to get 2. So 8 can be written as 2 times 2 times 2. That is that times that times that, which is equals to 2 cubed. So instead of 8, we are going to write 2 cubed over 1000. 1000 is 10 cubed, or 1000 you can take 10 multiply by 10 multiply by 10. That is why we are writing 10 cubed. That is why we are writing 10 cubed. So we write them like that. Then we take that to power that. We take that to power that. So the next thing you are supposed to do is you open the bracket by multiplying out the powers. Open the bracket by multiplying out the powers. So we start with the numerator. This is 2 to power 3. So you take 3 multiply by that. And when you take 3, you multiply by that, you can see that one cancels. So you get 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. So 2 to power 1, which is equal to 2. So this one will give us a 2 over. Then you take this power multiplied by this 3 here. And still 3 multiplied by that, you're going to get 1. So this one is going to be 10 to power 1. So over 10. Like that. So that means our cube root of 0.08 is going to be 2 divided by 10, you get that is 0.2. And that is the answer that you are supposed to get. That is the answer that you are supposed to get. We look at question number 2. That was question number 1 that I left you to tackle. The other one was use factor method to find the cube root of 2,744. That is, find the cube root of that number. But now using the factor method. And it's also advisable to use the factor tree method. It is easier. So use the factor tree method. That number is divisible by 2. Remember, we start with the smallest number that can divide that number. So by 2, you get that is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Then 7 divided by 2, you find that you can only multiply that by 3 to get 6. Then that is 14, 7, 2. like that. Then by 2 once again, that gives us a 6, 3, because of, not 3, sorry. You have a 6 because of 12, then you remain with 17. Then 8, what can you multiply by 2 to get something closer to 17? You get that is 8. You get that is 8 because of 16. Then carry 1, you get that is 12. So 6 like that. Then by 2 you get 1. You get 3. By 2 you get 3, 4. Then 3, that is 343. Then 2, not anymore, because you can see the last digit here is a 3. So it's not divisible by 2. So we go to 3, and by 3 here you get 1, because of 3. 1 once again, not possible. So 3 is also not possible. 4, not possible. 5, not possible. 6, once again not possible. 7, can we try 7? Yes. So 7, to get what? If you take 343 divided by 7, we're going to find that 7 times 4 you get 28. Then 34 minus 28 you get what? So that one is going to give us actually 49, yeah, like that. Then you are going to have 7 by 7 like that. So that means 2744. You can express it in the form of its factors. So you're going to get 2 times 2 times 2 times 7 times 7 times 7 like that. So you combine them in threes. For instance, you can see we have two threes here. So you have 2 cubed multiplied by 7 are also 3 like that. So instead of writing 2744, you can express it as 2 cubed multiplied by 7 cubed. So not forgetting that we are looking for the cube root, and cube root we can write it as 2744 to power a third. Now instead of this number, we substitute this number with that. So 2 cubed times 7 cubed, that one to power a third. Then after that, what you are supposed to do is simply multiply out the powers. So a third times 3, you get 1. So that one becomes a 2. 2 to power 1, which is equals to 2. Then that a third times 3, you get still 1. So 2 times 7, and you get that 2 times 7 gives us 14. And that is how you use the factor method to find the cube root of numbers. That is how you use the factor method to find the cube root of numbers. I want to believe that that is what you've done. And where you go now, you are in a position to rectify that. So for today's lesson, I want us now to use the mathematical table. Remember, I've told you that there are 2 methods that you can use to look for the cube root of numbers. One was the factor method we just looked at. Then the other one is the factor method. The other one is the factor method. So factor method we have created. So let's use the cube root from tables. We look at cube root. So we are now going to use the mathematical table to be able to find or to look for cube root of numbers. We already used the mathematical table to look for cube of numbers. And remember, cube of a number is multiplying that number by itself 3 times. Now, when it comes to now looking for the cube root of numbers from tables, we do the reverse. We do the reverse of what we did. So how do we do the reverse? So there are a number of points that you are supposed to note when you are using the mathematical table to look for the cube root of numbers. And one of them is that if a number lies between 1 and 1,000, that is from 1 to 999, such a number can be looked for from the mathematical table. So if you want, for instance, a cube root of a number like 40, 60, 700, 800. It is possible to look for the cube root of such a number from the mathematical table. We are going to look at that and how we go about that. Now, the other point you are supposed to notice is that if a number is greater than 1,000, if a number is greater than 1,000, what you do, you have to express it in standard form. You have to express it in a standard form. The other point you are supposed to notice is that if a number is less than 1, if a number is less than 1, let's say for instance, we want to find the cube root. But we are going to look at examples, don't worry if you're not understanding what we are saying for now. And therefore, let's look at examples now. Let's now look at examples. We start with example 1. We start with our very first example. So we are using mathematical tables to find the cube root. So example 1, find cube root of 27. Not forgetting that we are now not using the factor method. We are using the mathematical table. Now I'm saying that when you are looking for the cube root of numbers using the mathematical table, we do the reverse of what we did when we are looking for the cube of numbers. We do the reverse of what you are doing when you are looking for the cube of numbers. If you have the 4-figure mathematical table that appears like that, the cube is found on page 25. It's found on page 25. That's where you have the cubes. Now, cube roots. How do you go about that? Remember, when you're looking for the cube, you would first start by getting the numbers on the x column and all that. But now, cube root is a bit of the opposite, because instead of now going to the x and looking where that number appears, we go inside these numbers, inside the mathematical table, and then you look for the number that you want to get its cube root. Therefore, so inside here, all these numbers is where you go to look for that number. So, like now, we want to look for the cube root of 27. So, you've got to come in mathematical table, like that. And going up to where you have a number that is equal to 27, and if not, a number that is closer to 27. So if I may look, that is 24, 26, 26.7, and you can see I've already found a number 27 here, exactly 27. Now, how do I now find that number whose cube root is 27? So that number, I'm going to read it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read. I start with the x column, then followed by the number on that row. So where 27 is, the number I have here is 3.0, and the other number up there is 0. So what does that tell us? That tells us that the cube root of 27 is, you see, in the x column it is appearing to be 3.0. Then the other number on the top there is 0. So this is equals to 3. So that means the cube root of 27 from the 4-figure mathematical table is 3. The cube root of 27 from the 4-figure mathematical table is 3. Let's look at another example. Let's look at another example. So example 2, a cube root of 48. Cube root of 48. Now, just like we've done earlier on, to get the cube root of 48, I need to come and look for that number inside these values you see here. And that number, I have to come and look whether I have number 48, and if not, I have to actually get a number that is closer to 48. Then I'll show you how to go about it. So, as you can see from the mathematical table, 48, this is 47.83, 48.23. I cannot pick this one because it is above 48. So the number that is closer to 48 is this 47.83. 47.83. And now, where is that number running to? That number is running where 3.6 and 3 corresponds. So I have to write that down. 3.6, 3.63. So I first come and write 3.63. And then you also find that that number is not exactly 48. So what do you have to do? How do you cater for that difference? So you see, I want to look for the cube root of 48. But what I have looked for its cube root here is 47.83. So 47.83. I have to know what is the difference between the two numbers. Then I cater the difference. I will show you how to cater for it. So can we first get the difference between these two? So here you have to borrow one from there in number that one means 47. So in a 10. So you borrow one so that you take there to be 10. Then this one means is 9. So 10 minus 3 is 7. Then 9 minus 8 is 7. So there is this 0.17 that I have not catered for. So we take that as a number 17. Now you are around the same row of 3.6 because that's where you found our 47.83. You go up to where you have a number. Now in the addition column there, where you have a number, if not exactly 17, the one that is most close to 17, and that number is here 16. And which is that number that is corresponding to 16? That number is 4. That number is 4. You can see 16 here, and the number corresponding to that is 4. So I just come and I write down that 4 there. And that is the cube root of 48. So the cube root of 48 is 3.634. And as you have seen, that is how we usually go about cube root of numbers from the mathematical table. So I want to make sure that you've understood what we've already discussed, and therefore I'm going to give you some assignment for today. So attempt the following questions so that you make your understanding much better. So attempt the following questions. So number 1. Use mathematical tables. Use mathematical tables to find the cube root of the following. Number A, find the cube root of 98.36. Number B, find the cube root of 0.0043. Find the cube root of 0.00432. That marks the end of our lesson for today. You can give us any of your feedback through our SMS number 22518. You can also post any queries on our Facebook page, Elimu TV, or you tweet to us. Our Twitter handle is Elimu_KE. Let me talk a little bit about our last trivia that I had given you. Only very few has managed to get it right, so I'm still giving you some more chances. Give us your answer, and maybe I may remind you of how our trivia looked like. Our trivia was x, if x plus y equals to 5 kg, and z minus x equals to 99 kg. Then you have x plus x plus x equal to 12 kg. Then you are supposed to find x plus y plus z. What is x plus y plus z? So continue posting your answer on our Facebook page, as well as sending them through our SMS number, the one I've just told you earlier on. Therefore, keep it Elimu TV, where you continue to watch and learn.